Okay, so I'm just gonna cut to the chase. You already saw the title. I'm reading the Minecraft End User License Agreement, or Eula for short, while having out no copyright sounds over this entire thing to not bore you. So there's that. So here we go. I'm doing God's work right now. I don't know how this is going to turn out. Just like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Okay, so I just made this a little bit bigger because I don't want to do any post-processing process because I hate zooming in and making the screen even, kinda making it all look nice. So here we go. Minecraft End User License Agreement. In order to protect Minecraft, our game, and the members of our community, we need these end user license terms to set out some rules for downloading and using our game. This license is a legal agreement between you and us, Mojang AB, and describes the terms and conditions for using the game. We do not like reading license documents any more than you do, so we have tried to keep this as short as possible. If you break these rules, we may stop you from using our game. If we think it's necessary, we might even have to ask our lawyers to help out. If you buy, download, use, or play our game, you are agreeing to stick to the rules of these End User License Agreement, EULA for short, terms. If you don't want to or can't agree to these terms, then you must not buy, download, or use, or play our game. This EULA incorporates terms of use for Mojang.com website, account terms, our branding and asset usage guidelines, our privacy policy, and if you live in the United States, our arbitrations agreement. By agreeing to this EULA, you also agree to all of the terms of the foreign documents, so please read through them carefully. Okay, so just stopping this for a quick second. I'm gonna butcher lots of words today, so sorry in advance, EULA viewers. So just glance over once in a while to just see what I'm talking about and get the picture. So continue with the whole reading. Binding arbitrations and class action waivers if you live in the United States. Under the agreement, we both agree to use a neutral arbitrator to decide any individual claims that may arise, and thus agree to waive our right to bring individual claims in for consideration by a judge or jury. We also agree that class action lawsuits and class-wide arbitrations are not allowed under the terms of agreement. The complete arbitration agreement is on this page. You and we agree to it. Please read it. One major rule. The one major rule is that you must not distribute anything we made unless we specifically agree to. By distributing anything we made, what we mean is give copies of our game to anyone else, make commercial use of anything we made, try to make money from anything we made, or let other people get access to anything we made in a way that's unfair or unreasonable. Unless we specifically agree to it, and so that we are crystal clear, the game or what we have made includes but is not limited to the client or the server software for our game includes Minecraft and Minecraft Java Edition on all platforms. It also includes update, patches, downloadable content, add-ons, or modified versions of a game, part of those things or anything else we made. Otherwise, we are quite relaxed about what you do. In fact, we really encourage you to do cool stuff, but just don't do things that we say you can't. Using our game, you have been granted a license to the game so you can play and use it yourself on your device. Below, we also give you limited rights to do other things, but we have to draw a line somewhere or else people will go too far. If you wish to make something pertain to anything we made, we're humble, but please make sure that it can't be interpreted as being official and that it complies with this EULA and the brand and asset usage guidelines. And above all, do not make commercial use of anything we made. This license and permission we give you to use and play our game can be revoked if you break any of the terms in this EULA. When you buy our game, you receive a license that gives you permission to install the game on your own personal device and use it and play it on that device as set out in this EULA. This permission is personal to you, so you're not allowed to distribute the game or any part of it to anyone else. This also means you cannot sell or rent the game or make it available for access to other people, and you cannot pass or resell any license key. You may, however, give gift codes that have been bought through our official gift code system. This is important to help us stop piracy and fraud and to protect our game. It is also important to prevent members of our community from buying pirated versions of our game or fraudulent license key, which we may cancel, such as in the case of fraud. You bought the game, you may play around with it and modify it by adding modification tools or plugins, which we refer to collectively as mods. By mods, we mean something original that you or someone else created that doesn't contain a substantial part of our copyrighted code or content. When you combine your mod with the Minecraft software, we will call the combination a modded version of the game. We have the final say on what constitutes as a mod and what doesn't. You may not distribute any modded version of our game or software, and we appreciate it if you do not use mods for griefing. Basically, mods are okay to distribute. Hacked versions or modded versions of the game client or server software are not okay to distribute. Within reason, you're free to do whatever you want with the screenshot and videos of the game, but within reason, we mean that you can't make any commercial use of them or do things that are unfair or adversely affect our rights unless we specifically say it's okay in this Eula, allow it through the brand and asset uses guidelines or provided for it in a specific agreement with you. If you upload videos of the game to video sharing and streaming sites, you are, however, allowed to put ads on them. Also, don't just rip our resources and pass them around. That's no fun. Essentially, the simple rule is do not make commercial use of anything we made unless we specifically say it's okay. Oh, and the law expressly allows it, such as under a fair use or fair dealing doctrine. That's okay too, but only to the extent that the law applicable to you says so. In order to ensure the integrity of the game, we need all game downloads and updates to come from an authorized source. It's also important for us that third-party tools/services don't seem official, as we can't guarantee the quality. It's part of the responsibility we have to the customers of Minecraft. Make sure that you read through our brand and assets uses guidelines too. Although we license you permission to install on your device and play our game, we are still the owners of it. We are also the owners of our brand and any content containing in the game. Therefore, when you pay for our game, you are buying a license to play/use our game in accordance with this Eula. You are not buying the game itself. The only permission you have in connection with the game and your installation of it are the permissions set out in this Eula. Any mods you create for the game from scratch belongs to you, including pre-run mods and in-memory mods, and you can do whatever you want with them as long as you don't sell them for money/try to make money from them, and as long as you don't distribute modded versions of the game. Remember that a mod means something that is your original work and does not contain a substantial part of our code or content. You own only what you created. You do not own our code or content. If you make any content available on or through our game, you agree to give us permission to use, copy, modify, adapt, distribute, and publicly display that content. This permission is irrevocable, and you also agree to let us permit other people to use, copy, modify, adapt, distribute, and publicly display your content. You're not giving up your ownership rights in your content, you're just giving us and other permissions to use it. For example, we may need to copy, reformat, distribute content that you post on our website so others can read it. If you don't want to give us these permissions, do not make content available on or through our game. Please think carefully before you make any content available, because it may be public and might even be used by other people in a way you do not like. If you're going to make something available on or through our game, it must not be offensive to people or illegal. It must be honest and it must be of your own creation. Some examples of the types of things you must not make available using our game include posts that includes racist or homophobic language, posts that are bullying or trolling, posts that are offensive or that damage our or another person's reputation, posts that include porn or someone else's creation or image, or posts that impersonate a moderator or try to trick or exploit people. Any content you make available on our game must also be your creation, or you must have permission or the legal rights to do it. You must not, and you agree that you will not make any content available using the game that infringes on the right of others. Please watch out if you're talking to other people in our game. It is hard for either you or us to know for sure that what people say is true, or even if people are really who they say they are. You should think twice about giving out information about yourself. Updates. We might make upgrades, updates, or patches, we call them all updates, available from time to time, but we don't have to. We are not obliged to provide ongoing support or maintenance of any game. Of course, we hope to continue to release new updates for our game. We just can't guarantee that we will do so. What updates come changes that might not work well with other software, such as mods. This is unfortunate, but this is something we don't take responsibility for. If that's the case, try running an older version. Our liability governing law in place to resolve disputes. The terms of this Eula does not affect any legal or statutory rights that you may have under the law that applies to you for the game. You may have certain rights which the law that applies to you say could not be excluded. Nothing we say in these terms will affect those legal rights, even when we say something which sounds like it contradicts your legal rights. That's what we mean when we say subject to applicable law. Subject to applicable law, when you get a copy of our game, we provided it as is. Updates are also provided as is. That means that we are not making any promises to you about the standard or quality of our game, or that our game will be uninterrupted or error-free. We are not responsible for any losses or damages that it may cause. You bear the entire risk as to its quality and performance. You have to accept that we may release games well before they are complete, and so they may and often will have bugs, but we prefer to release these features early than make you wait for perfection. If you would like to notify us about potential bugs, we have a site for that here. If you and we ever have a dispute in court, and we hope that won't happen just as much as you do, the exclusive forum that is the place it will be handled will be a state or federal court in King Country, WA if you live in the United States, or a court in Ontario if you live in Canada. If you live in the United States, most disputes go to arbitration, not to court. The laws of your state or province govern this EULA, and all disputes, including disputes relating to it, our game, or our website, regardless of conflict of law principle, except that the Federal Arbitration Act governs everything related to the arbitration. Jesus, what the hell does that even mean? Termination. If you want, we can terminate this EULA if you breach any of the terms. You can terminate too at any time. All you have to do is uninstall the game from your device, and the EULA will be terminated. If the EULA is terminated, you will no longer have any rights to the game given in this license. You do still have the rights to things you have created yourself with the game, of course, the Arbitration Act if you live in the United States, and the paragraph about ownership of our game or liability and general stuff will continue to apply even after EULA is terminated. General stuff. Your local law may give you rights to that this EULA cannot change. If so, this EULA applies as far as the law allows. Nothing in this license limits our liability for death or bodily injuries resulting from our negligence or fraudulent misrepresentation. We may change this EULA from time to time if we have to, such as changes to our game, our practices, or our legal obligations. But those changes will be effective only to the extent that they can legally apply. For example, if you use the game only in single player mode and don't use the updates we make available, then the old EULA applies. But if you do use the updates or use part of the game that rely on or providing ongoing online services, then the new EULA will apply. In that case, we will inform you of the changes before it takes effect, either by posting a notice on our website or by other reasonable means. We're not going to be unfair about this though, but sometimes the law changes or someone does something that affects other users of the game, and we therefore need to put a lid on it. If you come to us with a suggestion from any of our website or games, that suggestion is made for free and we have no obligation to accept or consider it. This means we can use or not use your suggestion in any way we want, and we don't have to pay you for it. If you think you have a suggestion that we will be willing to pay you for, please do not submit your suggestion unless you have first told us you expect to be paid, and we have responded in writing by asking you to submit the suggestion. There, that is done. The complete EULA or Minecraft end user license agreement. God damn, I butchered so many words and like freaking had like voice cracks and missing air in my lungs, so I can't pronounce anything. So yeah, my name is Apolic. This is the end of the video. If you want me to read these little bad boys, the arbitrations or terms of service, let me know. I probably won't, but if this video does blow up somehow, I highly doubt it, I will go do that. So yeah, talk to you all later.